and I feel like I am at a crossroads, or at least a decision point that I need to make a decision here fairly soon. I don't need to make a decision right now, but at some point fairly soon here, I need to make a decision around owning 2 motorcycles, man. I mean, it's crazy, man, because I never ever, seriously, I never imagined myself being a multiple motorcycle owner. I mean, unless I really had like a huge garage or a museum or something like that, you know. I mean, but even then, I mean, the idea of owning multiple motorcycles, although it's kind of like a, I mean, isn't that a dream to have? You know, I mean, I think a lot of people dream of having a collection of motorcycles, you know, and having your own like private collection or your own museum or something like that, man. And you know, I mean, I've dreamt of those types of things too, but I mean, not in a serious way. And it wasn't until recently that I bought the 1979 Honda Goldwing GL1000 that all of a sudden I have immediately faced the reality of owning multiple motorcycles. I own 2 motorcycles, man. And I'm having a hard time justifying it to myself. I really, really, really am, man. And no, it's not the wife. Because, you know, I talk all kinds of stuff about the wife, especially on these videos, because she doesn't watch these videos anyway, so it's like a perfect way for me to vent and talk about the wife. No, I'm playing. I mean, she's awesome. No, don't get me wrong. I love her. She's an amazing woman. I love her to death, and she's totally supportive. But she doesn't watch these videos, which is nice, because if I want to talk about her, I can. But no, this is not the wife. The wife is very supportive. In fact, I mean, she's like, you know, when I was telling her that I'm struggling with this idea of owning both motorcycles, you know, she's like, well, why? You know, I mean, and you know, she's very, very, very accommodating. Here's one of the practical things. So there's multiple reasons why owning 2 motorcycles doesn't make sense. On one hand, I mean, the space. I just don't have the space to own 2 motorcycles. I do right now because it's the summertime. But, you know, come the winter, man, I'm not going to be able to have 2 motorcycles in my garage. I'm lucky enough that I have a garage where I can fit 2 motorcycles in there right now, but I can't put my car in there, you know? I can't put my car in the garage, and I'm going to need to. I seriously am going to need to put that in the garage in the wintertime, and I don't have space. I can't fit both motorcycles. I've looked, I've tried to figure it out, man. And I guess if I really, really got creative, like Tetris, I could try to figure out where to put both bikes and get my car in there too. But and my wife has her car too, you know, and it just makes, I mean, space-wise, it's going to be an incredible challenge to get both motorcycles into my garage. But here's kind of a bigger issue, man. I mean, and this is what's tough for me, is that I never thought of myself sort of living in excess, you know? And I feel like owning 2 motorcycles is living in excess. Like, I can't justify it to myself. Why would I need 2 motorcycles? I mean, it's a want, right? More than a need. It really is a want much more than it is a need. There's no need. Like, you can't make any sort of justification that it is a need. There's no reason for me to say that I need 2 motorcycles. I just don't. Especially, and here's what really starts messing with my mind, when I think about people across the world, even here in the U.S., people who are living by barely getting by, by barely scraping by, man. And, you know, they would kill to own a couple of motorcycles, you know? I mean, people would like, people would give, I mean, to just have like one vehicle that they could that they could call their own. You know, I mean, some people don't even have any sort of vehicle whatsoever, man. And here I am. I have a car. I have 2 motorcycles. My wife has a scooter. She has her car. Like, it's ridiculous if you think about it. I mean, we live. I mean, one of the criticisms that I think that a lot of people, you know, throw at the U.S. is that we tend to live in excess. You know, we have big cars, we own multiple vehicles, we eat too much. I mean, and all that is true if you think about it, you know, and not everybody clearly, because there are people here in my own backyard who are growing up, who are living, who are barely getting by with the bare minimum, man. And I was one of them, you know. I came from that world. Like, I came from living, you know, with the bare minimum. I grew up in a family of 4, and we had 1 car. No air conditioning, 1 car, man. And if the car broke down, we were on the bus. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, we grew up without. And look at me now. It's almost embarrassing to say. It is embarrassing. It's not almost embarrassing. It is embarrassing to say that I own all these vehicles, man. Oh, it's weighing on me heavy. It seriously is weighing on me heavy. And I'm having a hard time justifying it, man. And I don't judge anybody. I know people who own multiple motorcycles. You know? I know people who own multiple motorcycles, and I'm jealous. You know? I don't judge anybody if you own multiple motorcycles or have multiple vehicles. But I'm having a real hard time with it, man. I'm having a real hard time with it. And then what kills me too is when I think about selling one of the motorcycles. Oh my God. I just got the 1979 Honda Goldwing, you know, and I'm having such a blast, you know, working on it and messing with it and riding it and just having a real good time with it. And at the same time, oh my God, this vehicle right here, this amazing Battle Cat beastly bike that I have right here, is just such a great motorcycle, man. When I think about selling this bike, oh man, it just kills me. I'm like, no, I mean, how could you sell? No, how could you sell the 2002 Honda Shadow Sabre when it's just such a reliable, awesome machine, you know? How could you do that? And it's just, I mean, everything. I love it. It fits me. It's a great bike, man. I love it, love it, love it. Here's one thing I thought. You know what? What if I sold one of the motorcycles, and that being this one, because I've owned this one for a while now, and I own I'll use the Goldwing for the next few years, and then I'll sell that one and then get another bike after that. Like, try to get multiple bikes over the course of multiple years, you know, instead of sort of owning multiple bikes at the same time. That's one thing I've sort of thought of. Well, maybe I can do that. But then when I think about selling this bike, though, it kills me. I'm like, no. And again, that's the excess piece, though. And I tell myself, no, dude, you have to sell one. You can't live in excess like that. I'm torn. I'm seriously torn, man. I would love to hear what people think. You know, I would love to hear how people who own multiple motorcycles, one, justify it. And 2, I would just love to hear from anybody, you know, whether you ride motorcycles or not. I mean, what do you think about all this? And how do you know, I guess, what would you do in my shoes, or how do you handle these kinds of situations, you know? And what do you think? Maybe just like, hey, dude, you're out of control, man. I mean, you need to sell one of those bikes, man. Yes, you are living in excess. Sell one of those bikes, dude. So, anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them with me. So, anyway, with that, my friends, my people, continue to ride with confidence, head up, 100%. Yeah, this is SoopaBee.